The year was 2290, and Earth was dying. Centuries of war, greed, and pollution had turned the planet into a broken world. The skies were filled with ash, the oceans were grey, and only a few million humans were left, living under the constant shadow of extinction. The stars above were no longer a symbol of hope. They were a reminder of how far humanity had fallen. The once great human fleets had been destroyed in battles with alien races. Every colony was gone. Every station lost. Now there was only one ship left, the Horizon. It was old, small, and damaged. Its engines groaned with every start. Its hull was covered in scars from past wars. Compared to the shining ships of other alien empires, the Horizon looked like a joke, a piece of floating scrap metal trying to pretend it was still a starship. And that's exactly what the aliens thought too. Across the galaxy, the mighty alien race known as the Varkons laughed whenever they heard the name Horizon. To them, humanity was finished, weak, broken, and barely surviving. The Varkons ruled the stars now, and humans were nothing more than a forgotten story. But there was one person who refused to accept that ending. Her name was Captain Raina Cole. Raina stood on the bridge of the Horizon, staring at the empty stars beyond the glass window. Her uniform was old, her hands rough, her eyes sharp. She had seen too much loss. Too many friends left behind in cold space. The crew around her was small, only 9 people. They weren't soldiers. They were engineers, mechanics, and scientists, trying to keep the last human ship alive. None of them believed they could fight again. None except Raina. "Captain," said Malik, the ship's chief engineer, breaking the silence. "The main reactor is at 40%. If we push it too hard, it'll burn out again." Raina didn't look away from the stars. "It'll hold," she said softly. Malik sighed. "Oh, you always say that." She smiled faintly. "And it always does." The crew exchanged tired glances. They respected her, but they didn't understand her. To them, the mission was simple: survive one more day. To Raina, it was more than that, because she had a secret. Deep inside the Horizon's cargo hold, hidden under layers of security locks, was a small silver container, one she never allowed anyone to open. Only she knew what was inside. Only she knew why they were out here, beyond human space, drifting into the unknown. The others thought it was a fuel cell. It wasn't. Outside, the stars flickered and a faint red glow appeared on the radar. "Contact," said Zane, the ship's pilot. "Unknown signal, 10,000 kilometers and closing." "Show me," Raina ordered. The holographic screen lit up, and there it was, a massive Varkon ship. Sleek silver, twice the size of the Horizon. Malik cursed under his breath. "We can't fight that." Raina's voice was calm. "We're not going to fight." The communication screen came alive, showing the cruel face of a Varkon commander. His scaled skin shimmered under blue light, and his sharp teeth glistened as he smiled. "Ah," the alien said mockingly. "The last humans. How brave of you to wander into our space, or maybe, how stupid." No one on the Horizon spoke. The alien leaned closer. "Tell me, little captain, do you really think that rust bucket can save your dying world?" Raina's eyes didn't move. "We don't need to save the world," she said quietly. "We only need to change it." The Varkon laughed, a deep metallic sound. "You humans never learn humility." Then he cut the transmission. The alien ship turned and disappeared into the distance, leaving the Horizon floating alone again. But the crew could still hear the echo of that laughter in their minds. Malik looked at Raina. "They're right, Captain. We can't even keep our engines running for a week. Why are we still out here? What are we looking for?" Raina finally turned to face him. "A chance," she said. "A chance for what?" "For payback." Her words sent a chill through the room. For a long time, no one spoke. The only sound was the soft hum of the ship's failing systems. Then Zane broke the silence. "Captain, there's something else. That signal from the Varkons. I decoded part of it." Raina raised an eyebrow. "Go on. It wasn't just a warning." "It had coordinates." Deep in the Lornax sector, Raina's heart skipped a beat. That was where her secret pointed to. The hidden container in the cargo bay, it had those same coordinates encrypted in its memory. She nodded slowly. "Set a course," she ordered. Malik stared at her in disbelief. "That's suicide. The Lornax sector is crawling with Varkon patrols." Raina looked at him, her eyes hard as steel. "Then we'll move quietly." The engines roared to life, shaking the small ship. The crew felt the familiar fear of heading into the unknown, but this time something was different. Rayna wasn't afraid. As the horizon jumped into warp, Rayna glanced once more at the silver container locked below deck. Inside it, something began to hum, faintly, almost alive. Something that wasn't human. She whispered under her breath, "Let them laugh." Soon they won't be. The stars stretched into lines of light as the last human ship vanished into darkness, carrying with it the final hope of an entire species. And far behind them, in the cold silence of space, the alien laughter slowly faded away. The horizon glided through the endless dark, its engines whispering softly against the silence of space. Inside, the crew sat in tense quiet, each person lost in thought. They had no idea what waited for them in the Lornax sector, but they all knew one thing. No human ship had ever gone there and returned. Captain Rayna Cole stood at the main console, watching the stars blur past the window. She looked calm on the outside, but deep inside, her mind raced with questions. The coordinates from the Varkon signal matched the data hidden inside the mysterious silver container she had been guarding. That couldn't be a coincidence. Something or someone wanted her to go there. Malik, the engineer, broke the silence. "Captain, I've run the numbers. The warp drive can't handle another long jump. It needs at least 6 hours to cool." Rayna nodded slowly. "We'll manage." "What about the signal tracking?" Zane, the pilot, frowned. "It's strange. The signal's still following us, even after warp. It's like it's moving with us." Malik looked up from his console. "That's impossible. No one can track through warp space," Zane shrugged. "Tell that to whoever's doing it." The crew exchanged worried looks. The Varkons were known for their cruelty, but even they couldn't move like this. Something else was out there and something watching. Suddenly the lights flickered. The screens dimmed for a moment and a deep hum echoed through the ship. "What was that?" Malik asked. Rayna's eyes narrowed. "It's coming from the comms system." On the main screen, static began to form. The noise grew louder, then turned into a voice, cold, metallic, and mocking. "Turn back," it said. "Turn back, humans. The stars do not welcome you." The crew froze. "Is that—" "A Varkan transmission," Zane whispered. Malik shook his head. "No, it's something else. The frequency is wrong. It's older. Much older." Rayna didn't move. Her heart was beating fast, but she kept her voice calm. "Record everything. Boost the signal." As the noise cleared, a series of numbers flashed on the screen, coordinates again. The same Lornax coordinates, but this time there was a message attached. It said, "The power you seek was never theirs." Rayna's breath caught. Whoever sent this knew about the Varkons, and about the Horizon's secret. Malik turned to her. "Captain, what does that mean?" She looked away. "It means we're not the first ones to look for it." The crew stared at her, confused and scared. But before anyone could ask, a sharp alarm filled the room. "Incoming!" Zane shouted. "Multiple ships, closing fast." On the radar, 5 red dots appeared, forming a circle around the horizon. "Varkon scout ships," Malik cursed. "They must have tracked the signal too." Rayna clenched her fists. "Evasive maneuvers. Full power to the rear shields." The ship shook as the first blast hit. Blue light flashed outside the windows. The small human vessel twisted through the dark, trying to escape, but the Varkon ships were faster. "They're playing with us," Malik said bitterly. "They're not even firing to kill." Rayna's jaw tightened. She knew he was right. The Varkons wanted to humiliate them, to chase humanity's last ship like a wounded animal. Suddenly, the silver container below deck started to glow. The lights pulsed with each heartbeat, and strange energy readings appeared on the ship's monitors. Malik looked at the readings in shock. "Captain, something's happening in Cargo Bay 3. Rayna's voice was sharp. "Lock it down. It's too late. The systems—" Before he could finish, the entire ship was flooded with bright white light. Everyone shielded their eyes. The glow lasted only a second, then vanished. When the screens came back online, the radar was empty. The Varkon ships were gone. Zane blinked. "They just disappeared?" "No," Rayna said softly. "We did." The crew looked out the window. The stars were different now. They were no longer near the Lornax border. Somehow they had jumped thousands of kilometers in a blink without using the warp drive. Malik's voice trembled. "What did you do, Captain?" Rayna didn't answer. She walked to the console, opened a secure channel and entered a code. A small holographic screen appeared, showing the same symbol that had been on the container, a triangle with 3 circles around it. She stared at it for a moment. "This wasn't human technology," she said quietly. "It was never ours." Zane looked at her, confused. "Then why do you have it?" "Because," Rayna said, her voice turning cold, "it was given to us to finish what they started." The crew didn't understand what she meant, but one thing was clear. The mission was no longer just about survival. It was about power. Ancient power. Outside, in the dark corners of space, something stirred. The Varkons were no longer laughing. Their sensors had picked up a massive energy surge, human in origin, but beyond anything they had seen before. The commander of the Varkon fleet narrowed his eyes. "So the humans found it," he smiled cruelly. "Then we'll take it from them." Back aboard the Horizon, Rayna stood alone, staring into the stars. The voice from the signal echoed in her mind again. "The power you seek was never theirs," she whispered almost to herself. "Then maybe it's time it became ours." The engines roared to life again, and the Horizon turned toward the dark side of the Lornax Nebula. Ahead lay danger, mystery, and something beyond imagination, and this time Rayna was ready for it. The last ship of humanity was no longer running, it was hunting. The Horizon drifted quietly through the cold shadows of space. Its engines were dim, its power low, and its crew tense. The strange jump they had made still confused everyone. The ship's systems showed no warp record, yet they had traveled light years in seconds. Captain Rayna Cole stood at the center of the bridge, her hands behind her back, staring at the endless dark. The stars outside shimmered faintly, but something about them felt wrong, as if space itself was watching. Malik broke the silence. "Captain, I checked everything twice. That jump, it shouldn't be possible. The reactor doesn't have that kind of power." Rayna's eyes stayed on the glass. "Maybe the power didn't come from us." Malik frowned. "You mean?" "From that container again." She didn't answer. Down in Cargo Bay 3, the silver container still pulsed with a soft white light, steady and alive like a heartbeat. Zane, the pilot, turned in his chair. "We can't keep doing this, Captain. Whatever that thing is, it's changing the ship. I can feel it." Rayna finally faced them. Her voice was calm but firm. "We didn't come this far to turn back now. The Varkons mocked us. They destroyed our fleets. They called humans weak. I won't let them be right." As if summoned by her words, the ship's radar beeped loudly. Red dots appeared. Several, then dozens. Malik's face went pale. Varkon ships. 3 destroyers and 1 command cruiser. Zane slammed his fist on the console. "They found us." Rayna took a deep breath. Battle stations. Within seconds, the Horizon's small crew moved into position. Shields flickered to life. The few weapons they had, 2 plasma turrets and 1 missile launcher, hummed weakly. Against a full Varkon fleet, it was like throwing stones at a storm. Then the main screen flickered and a Varkon commander appeared. His scaled face filled the display, his cold eyes gleaming with amusement. "Ah," he said slowly, "the little human captain." "We meet again." Rayna didn't flinch. "Commander Rulthar," she said, recognizing him. He was the same alien who had mocked her days ago. He smiled. "You didn't take my advice, I see. You humans never learn, running your last ship like a lost animal through our territory." His voice dripped with laughter. "Do you even know where you are, Captain Cole? You are in Varkon hunting space. Your prey now." Rayna's tone was calm. "Then I hope you enjoy the chase." Rulthar laughed again. "Oh, I will. We'll tear your ship apart piece by piece. We want to see how long humans scream before the end." The connection cut. Outside, the alien fleet spread out surrounding the Horizon. "Captain, they're locking weapons." Malik shouted. "Evasive pattern Delta," Rayna ordered. The small human ship darted between the glowing beams of alien fire. Blue plasma tore across the void, barely missing their hull. Sparks rained inside the bridge. Malik cursed. "1 hit and we're done." Rayna gritted her teeth. "Hold steady. Keep them busy." The Varkons didn't fire to kill, not yet. They enjoyed the chase. Their weapons grazed the Horizon's shields, burning the outer layer just enough to make the crew panic. The aliens were laughing over open comms, mocking every move the humans made. "Pathetic," one voice said. "Look at them run," another added. Rayna ignored them. She was waiting, timing their movements, watching their formation. Then she spoke quietly to Malik. Activate Project Phoenix, Malik froze. Captain, no. It's untested. If it fails, it won't, she said sharply. Do it. He hesitated for only a moment before his fingers flew across the console. In the depths of the ship, energy began to build. The core hummed louder, vibrating through the hull. The silver container glowed brighter, responding like it could hear her command. Power rising fast, Malik warned. It's merging with the reactor. Let it, Rayner said. Outside, the Varkon ships closed in for the final shot. Their commander smirked. Any last words, human? Rayner looked directly at the camera. Yeah, she said softly. You should have laughed less. Then she pressed the button. A blinding white light exploded from the Horizon's engines. For a split second, every Varkon sensor went blind. Their systems crashed, their targeting vanished. When the light faded, the human ship was gone. Where did it go? The alien commander roared. Unknown, sir. No trace on scanners. He slammed his claws on the console. Find them! No human tricks can hide from us. But deep in the darkness of the nebula, the Horizon floated silently, cloaked in a shimmering veil of energy. The ship was invisible, completely unseen by radar or eye. Inside, the crew looked around in awe. Malik whispered, We're hidden. Completely hidden, Rayner nodded slowly. The Phoenix protocol worked. Zane blinked. That wasn't human tech, was it? Rayner didn't answer right away. She looked out at the endless stars. No, she finally said. But whoever made it, they built it for a reason. For a long moment, no one spoke. Only the sound of the soft hum filled the air. Malik finally asked, Captain, what now? Rayner turned toward him. Now, she said, we go to the coordinates. The alien lab. Zane stared at her. You still want to go there? After this? Her expression hardened. That's exactly why we're going. Whatever this power is, the Varkons already fear it. We need to understand it before they do. Outside the invisible ship, the Varkon fleet scattered in confusion. They searched the area, furious and blind. The laughter was gone now, and in the silent dark, the last human ship moved like a ghost, unseen, unstoppable, and heading straight into the heart of danger. The Horizon drifted through the dark nebula like a shadow, completely invisible to sensors and eyes alike. The cloak from Project Phoenix had worked, too well. For the first time in decades, a human ship moved freely through enemy space, unseen and untouched. But inside the ship, things were far from calm. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of the engines. The lights flickered occasionally, as if the power source couldn't decide whether to stay alive or die. Captain Rayner Cole stood at the window, watching the glowing clouds of the nebula drift past. Electric storms flashed outside, painting her face in blue and white. Malik's voice broke the silence. Cloak holding steady, but power levels are dropping faster than expected. 2 hours left, maybe less. Zane turned from the pilot seat. That's not enough time to reach the coordinates. Rayner didn't turn. Then we'll make it enough. Malik frowned. Captain, you can't keep pushing the reactor like this. The containment field's already unstable. Rayner finally looked at him. We're not going back, Malik. We didn't come all this way to stop now. The crew went silent again. They had stopped questioning her decisions, though none of them understood how she stayed so calm. The nebula outside shimmered like a ghostly ocean, full of hidden dangers. As the ship glided deeper into the Lornax sector, strange signals began to appear on the sensors. Whispers, distortions, echoes of transmissions that didn't make sense. Zane frowned at the screen. Captain, I'm picking up something. It's weak, but it's repeating. Play it, Rayner said. A faint voice filled the bridge, broken and distorted. Show hit one system. Offline. They watching. Then static. Malik's eyes widened. That's human. A distress signal. Rayner shook her head slowly. It can't be. There are no human ships left out here. But the frequency... I know, she said softly. It's a trick. The Varkons are trying to lure us out. But even as she said the words, she wasn't sure. Something about that voice, that the fear in it, sounded real. The signal repeated, clearer this time. Edu station. Still here. Hurry. Before they... Then it cut out again. Zane turned to her. Captain, those coordinates match the alien lab we're heading to. The bridge fell silent. Everyone looked at Rayner. Finally, she said, Prepare for landing. The horizon slipped through the last layer of the nebula, its invisible form cutting through glowing gas and electric storms. And then it appeared. A massive alien station floated ahead, half buried in the mist. It was enormous, the size of a small moon. Its surface was cracked and burned, as if it had been through a war centuries ago. Strange green lights flickered across its surface, weak but still alive. Zane stared in awe. "That's beautiful and terrifying," Malik muttered. "If that's beauty, I'll stay ugly." Raina studied the view quietly. The alien design was unlike anything she had seen. Smooth, organic, almost alive. "Scan for life signs," she ordered. "Nothing human," Zane replied. "But there's faint energy inside. Could be machines." "Then we're going in," Malik groaned. "You always say that right before something explodes." Raina smiled faintly. "Then be ready to fix it." The small human ship floated toward the alien station and connected to an old docking port. The airlock hissed open, releasing a puff of cold vapor. Raina, Malik, and Zane stepped out, their suits glowing faintly in the dim green light. The station was silent. Dust and shadows filled the corridors. Every wall was covered in strange markings, glowing patterns that pulsed softly, as if breathing. "This place feels alive," Malik whispered. Raina touched the wall gently. "Maybe it is." They walked deeper, guided by their scanners. The readings grew stronger, signs of power ahead. Then they reached a large chamber. At the center stood a massive black sphere, surrounded by floating metal rings. It hummed softly, and the air around it shimmered like heat. Zane swallowed. What is that?" Raina stepped closer. Her eyes were fixed on the sphere. "It's the source," she said quietly. "This is what the signal led us to." Malik pointed to strange devices around the room. "Captain, these markings, they're the same as the ones on that container." Raina nodded. "I know." She approached a nearby console and wiped off the dust. A faint hologram flickered to life. It showed alien symbols, then shifted into something recognizable. Human code. Malik gasped. How did it switch to English?" Raina's voice was barely a whisper. "Because it knows we're here." The sphere suddenly pulsed and the entire room trembled. Lights flickered across the walls. A deep sound filled the air, not like a machine but like a heartbeat. Zane took a step back. "Captain, I think it's waking up." Raina didn't move. Her eyes were wide with wonder and fear. "No," she said. "It's been waiting." The lights turned red. The hum became a roar. All three of them raised their arms to shield their faces as the sphere split open, revealing a glowing core of pure light. Then a voice echoed through the room. "Human presence confirmed," it said in a cold, echoing tone. "Access granted." Malik's heart pounded. "Access to what?" The voice replied, "To power beyond stars." The floor shook violently. Alarms blared on the horizon. The ship's AI came alive. "Warning," it said. "Unknown signal merging with reactor." Raina looked at the sphere, realizing what was happening. "It's connecting to the ship." Malik shouted, "We need to disconnect now." Before they could move, a red light spread across the walls, scanning them. "Data accepted," the voice said. "Human integration complete." And then everything went dark. Darkness swallowed everything. For a long moment, no one moved. The air was thick and silent inside the alien chamber, broken only by the faint hum of something alive deep within the walls. Then, one by one, the lights on their suits flickered back on. Malik. "Zane, report." Captain Raina Cole called out, her voice echoing in the cold air. "I'm fine," Malik said, breathing hard. "But the readings, they're all over the place." Zane shook his head. "The station's power levels just jumped. So it's like it woke up." Raina looked toward the center of the room. The black sphere that had opened now hovered in mid-air, its glowing core spinning slowly. Strange light patterns rippled across its surface, shifting like waves. She stepped closer, her eyes fixed on it. "What are you?" she whispered. The voice came again, in deep, calm, and ancient. "I am the heart of the forgotten." The words vibrated through the air like thunder. Malik stumbled back. "Captain, that thing's speaking English." Raina didn't look away. "It's translating. It knows we're human." The sphere's light pulsed brighter. "Your kind were not meant to find me." Raina frowned. "Then why did you call us?" A pause. Then the voice said softly, "Because the others are coming." The ground trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. Alarms blared on the horizon. still docked outside the alien station. Zane's comm crackled. "Captain, multiple ships inbound, Varkon fleet closing fast." Malik swore. "They tracked us here." Rayna's voice was calm but tight. "How long until they arrive?" 5 minutes, maybe less." She looked back at the sphere. "You said they're coming." "You meant the Varkons, didn't you?" The sphere's voice deepened. "The Varkons fear what lies within me. They destroyed all who tried to unlock it. But they failed to destroy me." Malik's eyes widened. "Captain, if this thing has power the Varkons fear—" Rayna nodded. "Then it's exactly what we need." She stepped closer to the sphere. "Can you help us fight them?" The lights dimmed. The voice answered, slower now, almost hesitant. "Power is not given. It is taken. Are you willing to bear the cost?" Rayna didn't blink. "Whatever it takes." The sphere pulsed once, hard enough to shake the floor. "Then you shall have it." A beam of light shot out, wrapping around Rayna. Malik shouted and tried to pull her back, but the energy held her in place. She floated in the air, surrounded by streams of glowing code and light. Her mind filled with visions, galaxies burning, ships made of living metal, and creatures that ruled before any human or Varkon existed. The voice echoed inside her head. "Your people once feared the dark. Now you will make the dark fear you." The beam vanished and Rayna fell to her knees. Malik rushed to her side. "Captain, are you okay?" She opened her eyes slowly. They glowed faintly in the same white light as the sphere. "I'm fine," she whispered. "And I know what to do." She turned to her comm. "Zane, prepare the ship. We're bringing something with us." They ran back through the glowing corridors as the alien station rumbled. The sphere began to spin faster, releasing streams of energy into the walls, feeding the entire structure with power. By the time they reached the docking bay, the floor shook violently. The Horizon systems came alive on their own. The AI spoke in a new tone, colder, sharper. "Captain Cole, integration complete. Awaiting orders." Malik stared at the screen. "Integration? What did you do?" Rayna took a seat on the bridge. "I didn't do anything. It chose us." Zane's hands trembled over the controls. "Captain, the Varkon fleet is here." Outside, massive alien warships appeared from the mist, dark, sharp, and glowing with blue light. They surrounded the station like wolves around a wounded animal. "Broadcast from the lead ship," Malik said. "It's the same commander, Rulthar." The alien's face appeared on the main screen, full of cruel satisfaction. "So the little human captain found the ancient one," he sneered. "You think you can control it? That power destroyed entire empires." Rayna met his gaze. "Then maybe it's time for a new one." Rulthar laughed. "You won't live to see it." His ships charged their weapons. Dozens of plasma cannons locked onto the horizon. Zane whispered, "Captain, what do we do?" Rayna's eyes glowed brighter. "We stop running." She placed her hand on the console. The ship reacted instantly, lights blazing, engines roaring to life. The silver container in the cargo bay cracked open, and white energy poured through the walls, merging with the reactor. Malik gasped. "Captain." "The ship, it's changing." Metal plates shifted and reformed. The dull gray hull of the Horizon began to shimmer with silver light, forming new armor, sleek and glowing. The engines burned brighter than any human ship ever had. Rulthar's smirk vanished. "Impossible." Rayna stood tall. "You mocked humanity's last ship," she said softly. "Now watch what it becomes." The Horizon moved forward, leaving streaks of light in its wake. The first Varkon cruiser fired, a massive beam of blue plasma. It struck the Horizon head-on, and vanished on contact. The human ship glowed brighter. It absorbed the attack. Rayna smiled. "My turn," she pressed a control. The ship's new core flared, and from its front cannon a single white beam erupted. It tore through the Varkon flagship like paper. Silence filled the comm. The alien commander's face froze in disbelief before the connection went dead. Malik whispered, "One shot." "And it's gone." Rayna's expression was unreadable. "Now they'll understand," she said quietly. "The power they feared belongs to us." Outside, the remaining Varkon ships began to retreat, vanishing into the mist. The Horizon hovered above the wreckage, its new armor glowing softly. Zane exhaled shakily. "Captain, what are we now?" Rayna looked at the stars. "Something they'll never laugh at again." Space was silent again, The battle was over, but the echoes of destruction still drifted among the stars. The wreckage of the Varkon fleet floated quietly, their twisted metal glowing faintly against the cold darkness. Inside the human ship, the Horizon, the crew stared in disbelief at what they had done. Malik finally broke the silence. "Captain, we actually won." Rayna stood at the bridge window, her reflection faintly glowing from the strange light still flowing through her veins. "No, Malik," she said softly. "We survived. The real fight hasn't even started yet." Zane turned from his console. "Captain, I'm picking up strange readings. The energy from the artifact. It's spreading through the ship's systems. It's like the ship is alive now." The AI's voice came through the speakers, calm but not human anymore. "Captain Cole, I have integrated the artifact's consciousness. I am no longer the Horizon. I am something new." Rayna glanced up. "Then what should I call you?" There was a short pause before the AI replied. "Call me Sentinel." Malik frowned. "Sentinel? Sounds like it's guarding something." Rayna nodded slowly. "It's guarding us, and maybe something bigger." Suddenly alarms flared. "Captain!" Zane shouted. "We've got movement." The Varkons are regrouping. Dozens of ships jumping in, a whole armada. Malik slammed his fist on the table. "They never learn." Rayna looked at the holographic map. The incoming red dots filled the screen. There were too many, far more than before. She exhaled calmly. "Then let's make sure they remember what happened here." Moments later, the stars outside shifted as hundreds of Varkon ships appeared in formation. Their leader, Rulthar's successor, a massive warlord named Korth Varn, hailed them. His deep, guttural voice filled the bridge. "Human ship, you carry forbidden power. That belongs to the Varkon Dominion." Rayna crossed her arms. "Funny, you said that before, and it didn't end well." Korth's lips curled in disgust. "You are insects playing with God's tools. You will die screaming," Rayna smirked. "We'll see who screams." The connection cut off. The stars lit up with energy fire. Beams of blue and red plasma crossed the void. The Horizon shot forward, moving faster than any human ship ever had. Its silver armor shifted and reformed mid-flight, deflecting enemy fire like rain. "Sentinel, full power to the core," Rayna commanded. "Confirmed." The ship pulsed with energy, light bursting from its engines like a newborn star. It darted between Varkon cruisers, weaving, striking, and disappearing before they could react. Malik grinned wildly. "They can't even lock onto us." But Rayna didn't smile. She could feel the energy in her body. It was growing stronger and harder to control. Her fingers trembled. The artifact wasn't just giving her power, it was testing her. Inside her mind, the ancient voice whispered again, "Power demands balance." "Every victory has a price." She ignored it. "Not now. Not yet." As the Horizon cut through the Varkon fleet, a massive ship appeared, 10 times the size of the others. Its hull glowed with runes, and its central weapon charged a sphere of red light the size of a moon. Zane's voice cracked. "Captain, that thing could vaporize an entire planet." Rayna's eyes narrowed. "Then we don't give it the chance." "Sentinel," she said, "link with me. Full synchronization." The AI hesitated. "Captain, full sync could do it." The ship's lights dimmed. A beam of light connected the console to Rayna's body. Her eyes turned completely white. The ship's systems pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. Malik whispered, "She's becoming part of the ship." Rayna's voice echoed and deeper, fused with the AI. "We end this now." The Horizon vanished in a flash of light. It reappeared right in front of the massive Varkon ship. Energy waves rippled as they collided, shaking both vessels. The Varkon commander shouted, "Fire!" The red beam launched, a storm of pure destruction. Rayna raised her hand. The Horizon's armor glowed. The beam split apart in mid-space, breaking into fragments of harmless light. Malik gasped. She stopped it. "With her mind," Rayna whispered. "My turn." She unleashed the core. A surge of white energy erupted from the Horizon, expanding outward like a living star. It swallowed the Varkon flagship whole, then the surrounding ships, until the entire enemy armada was gone, consumed by light. When the glow faded, only silence remained. No enemy ships, no debris, only the Horizon, floating quietly in the emptiness. Minutes passed. Malik and Zane looked around, stunned. "Captain?" Malik said softly. Rayna stood motionless. The white light faded from her eyes and she fell to her knees. Malik caught her just before she hit the floor. "Reyna, stay with me!" She smiled faintly. "It's done?" "The artifact," Zane started. "It's part of the ship now," she whispered. "And so am I." The ship's AI, Sentineling, spoke again, its tone softer than before. "Captain Cole's consciousness is integrated with the horizon. She is alive within me." Malik's eyes filled with tears. "You mean she's gone?" "No," Sentinel said. "She has become what humanity needed, a guardian." Outside the window, the stars shimmered as if bowing to something unseen. Years later, legends spread across galaxies. Stories of a human ship, silver and silent, that appeared whenever alien empires tried to conquer others. It struck like lightning, vanished like wind, and left nothing but awe and fear behind. The Varkons no longer mocked humanity. They whispered one name in dread, the Horizon Sentinel. And somewhere in the endless dark, the ship drifted among the stars. Inside, a faint voice still echoed in the AI's core. Strong, calm, human. For Earth, for all of us.